So a while back, I was able to do a deal that I was really proud of. And it made me proud to be a wholesaler.
Told you not to call here. It's not for sale. Quit texting me and aggravate.
The reason why I was proud is that we really helped this lady out in a situation that nobody else would really help her out on. The first problem was easy. Number one, she had a house that she didn't like anymore. The second problem was not so easy. She had no credit to buy another home. These people wanted to move. They had nowhere else to go. They had money. This is the funny part. They had money, no debt, no credit cards, no medical debt, nothing. The only thing that they had was cash. No credit whatsoever. They've always bought everything with cash and have never really developed a credit history. And I know what some of you might be thinking. You're actually probably on both sides of the fence. How dumb are you not to establish credit? And why would anybody go into debt trying to establish credit? Isn't the saying, live, below your means, only buy what you can afford, not, buying stuff on credit, which is true. But you can easily attain credit history by just using a credit card and paying it off every single month. That is how you stay out of debt, by buying the normal stuff that you would normally buy and then pay it off quickly within 30 days. That way you don't have to incur any type of interest and you can build credit. So we explained the situation to her on how she's gonna build credit, and we stuck with her for over 1 year. So this deal took 1 year to close. We held her hand through the whole process. We helped her find another property by hooking her up with a really good realtor. And then we helped her build her credit up. That way they could qualify for a new house. Well, the day finally came. We closed on the house as of January. She finally just moved out of the house last week. So I'm gonna give you guys a breakdown of what this house is worth, all the troubles that came with it, what it costed us, and now this one is not going to be wholesaled. I could wholesale it and I could make a really good profit on it, but my intent is to keep it as a rental. So let me go ahead and break this deal down to you guys, and we'll go check out the house. How did we find this house? That's the number one thing, right? So found this house, driving for dollars. All right, just like the majority of the stuff that I get. Found this house, driving for dollars. Didn't respond to the SMS we sent out. She didn't respond to the RVM we sent out, but she did finally respond to a phone call. So I don't know how many times she actually got hit with a phone call, but I know for a fact she got hit with 3 SMS, 2 RVMs. I'm gonna call it 1 phone call, but it was probably 1 to 3 phone calls. So as we can see here, it took 6 times of her being hit for her to finally respond. Even though we got her, to respond and finally have a conversation with her, she wanted $40,000 for her house. At the time that we were trying to lock that house up under contract, the house was valued, the after repair value, and this was just by finding comps in the area similar to that style house, similar to the square footage, which is a 31,200 square feet. ARV on that house at the time was $180,000. So now we have this spread in between, but even though we have this nice little spread, that doesn't mean that this is what we're gonna make, which is what, over 140,000, something like that? Yeah, $140,000. We have to consider all the fees that go into this, which is 180,000 minus the 10% in realtor fees and closing costs. So we're just gonna call this fees. The actual repairs on this property. Now, remember what I told you guys in a couple of videos back, that in this area, or in all these areas that I target, I always do good market research and I establish what the actual renovation costs are gonna be based on the type of home and what needs to be done. On most of these homes in these areas, they're gonna be full guts. And what I mean by full guts, it's gonna need all the walls taken down, gonna need new electrical, new plumbing, new roof, new windows, new HVAC, new heat pump, and some other minor stuff in their flooring, kitchen, bath. Those are the things that these houses are gonna need. So depending on the area that you live on, your finishes are gonna be determined by all of that stuff. So for example, in Miami, Florida, Most homes have already been rewired, and most homes already have new electrical boxes, so you can knock out electrical. As far as the plumbing though, it's kind of 50-50. Some have copper, some have galvanized pipes, and some have PEX. So the plumbing and electrical might not need to be done. It might need a roof, or it might not. I mean, usually people in South Florida, Miami, Florida, they get their roofs done pretty often, so that's usually already done, and usually you don't have to replace the windows. And as far as any walls getting knocked down, usually you don't knock down walls, you just repair and tile. That's it. So, renovation costs might be $25,000 or less. But in my area, I know this house, if I want it to be a really nice flip, we're gonna subtract $50,000 in rental costs. If it's gonna be a rental, it'll be less. It'll be probably about 40 around that area. But this house in particular needs a lot of work. You'll see it later, don't worry, you'll see it later. So $50,000 worth of reno minus my purchase price of $40,000. We'll call this cost, that I don't know how to spell. Now, what am I left with as a profit potential if we would have been able to sell it at that time for $180,000? So my total profit at that time would have been $72,000. Now I know the light might be kind of messing with that, but $72,000 profit on a house that we picked up for 40 grand. Now, did this play out like this? It didn't. And the reason is because the market appreciated more in that time frame. And so we gave her a little bit more. We actually gave her $45,000, and the ARV on that house now is $240,000, which is a stark difference then to what the profit could have been at that time point, which still $72,000 is a pretty good price point, considering that you would have been all in on this property for about $90,000. That would have been your rental cost and the actual cost to purchase. Now, what could I have made as an assignment fee on this property? I probably could have made about 40 grand. The street price on this house on the MLS would have sold as is last year for about $80,000. Now the as is price, we could probably sell it between $90,000 and $100,000. We don't want to do that. We actually want to keep this as a rental to add on to the rental portfolio. So this house will actually rent, if fully fixed up, for $1,500. So $1,500 a month. That's not, of course, including any type of other costs that are associated with it, but we're gonna assume $1,500 is gonna be our rental income, minus taxes, insurance, and all that other good stuff. We think that $1,500, us spending about 90 grand to make $1,500 a month is a pretty good return. Now, not including all the added fees that you would have to put into getting this $1,500, including management fees, insurance, taxes, vacancies, repairs. This would be a 20% return on investment year over year on my 90 grand. That is an excellent return. I want you to think about what you might get at the bank. You're looking at a 0.01% return on your money to a maximum of maybe 1%. So if I have $100 in the bank, I will make $1 per month. If I have $1,000 in the bank, I will make $10 a month, maybe. I have my business checking account. If I have like 30-40 grand in there at a time, I make like $7. All right, that covers like the banking fee that I incur. So it's not much money. I mean, what am I gonna do with 30 grand sitting? I mean, let's say I had 80 grand sitting in there. I'm only gonna make like $80 a month. That's nothing. That's like straight trash. I mean, yeah, it'll compound over time and I can add more money in there and blah, 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 blah. But in reality, I'm not gonna make any money putting 80 grand in a 1% bank account. Now, if I'm making $1,500 a month and I'm making 20% return on investment, I want you to look at it like this. Not only am I gonna bank on my 80 grand is gonna produce, it's gonna be like 80 to 90,000 actually, now that I think about it. My 80 grand is going to produce $1,500 monthly until I sell it. My $80,000 also, so it cost me $80,000 for this house, but the equity that I now have in it, plus my 80 grand, is $240,000 in what the property is now worth. So now I basically incurred $160,000 worth of equity with 80 grand. I basically doubled my money. If I go to sell this property and I get 240 for it, I'm gonna make over 100 grand. But I don't wanna make 100 grand. And yeah, in theory, yes, 100,000 sounds nice, but what I can do now is I can do a cash out refinance on this house for about 65% of the value of it. Some people do it higher than that, but at a consciously safe point, I could do a cash out refinance for about 50% of the value, and I'd be okay with that because I would probably be paying around $700 a month in mortgage, and that's with my taxes and insurance included, and still pocketing about $700 a month in profit. Then I have 100 grand to go and buy another house. So now I got my 80 grand back plus 20, and I can go buy another house and repeat the same process all over again. The plan is to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. So now I got my 240 grand in equity, producing $1,500 a month in income. Now, what if I hold this property for 5 years? What should I expect? Conservatively, and I mean conservatively, not coronavirus style appreciation. Conservatively, this $240,000 will appreciate about 5% year over year. In 5 years, now this house is worth, with about 25% appreciation, it's about $300,000. So now my house is worth $300,000, and I produced a monthly income of $1,500 a month times 5 years. Which, if you want to get technical with it, 5 years is 60 months. So 60 months times $1,500. I made $90,000 in rental income. So now, check this out, man. This is why I love rental properties. I love wholesaling. Look at my profit potential. So 390 grand. Now, of course, I'm not including maintenance. I'm not including vacancies. This is just, the best case scenario, that this is what happens. Best case scenario, I can sell that house, and now I made 390 grand in 5 years. I made 390 grand with an investment of $80,000. What is the percentage of return on investment there? It's an almost 5-time return on investment. That means instead of doubling my money, tripling my money, quadrupling my money, or whatever the acronym is for 5-timing my money, because I'm not that smart, I made 5 times the money that I would have made than just buying it, holding it, or wholesaling it. I could have made only 40 grand wholesaling it. But now instead, I'm gonna make like literally 5 times more money. Now I want you to think about, if you repeat this process about 3 or 4 times, you could come out literally with like millions of dollars in profit with just a short amount of time, over like $80,000, $90,000. Now, of course, you could buy these type of properties from a wholesaler, and it'd just be a little bit less money that you would make. So imagine that, let's say, yeah, the 300 grand, it costed me 80, right? Now, if somebody would have bought it off of me as a wholesale deal, and I would have made 40 grand off of it, the profit potential is still $270,000. 5 years. Okay, if somebody would have bought it off of me, and they would have paid 80 for it plus the 40 in reno, even at 120, they're still gonna make almost $100,000 profit, between $70,000 and $100,000 after fees and everything. But still, $270,000. You made $1,500 a month for 5 years. That's good money. That's good money, people. Buy rentals, please. Buy rentals. I was, totally against buying rentals because I want that fast return on investment. And yes, I've talked about it before where I didn't want to buy rentals because it's slow money, but it is steady money. And the more rentals you buy is also the better tax deductions you get. So because that earned income is taxed at a higher rate, but this rental income is taxed at a lower rate, and you have a lot more wiggle room to go with. So enough about me yapping. Let's go check out this house. That way you guys can see this project that we just picked up. And that way this will serve as a marker for what it'll look like in the future. All right, so here we are. It is super dark in here because there is no electricity. See if I can try to uncover. I can't even uncover the freaking window. But this house, this is home sweet home. So not too bad. I'm gonna come into this other room over here. I'm trying to get as much as I can in here. I'm a little blown up here, but this is it, guys. So this is gonna be a full gut reno. You can see the walls here. It's all wood panel. The flooring is definitely in rough shape as far as what it is. You know, it's just this nasty carpet. But I mean, not too bad, right? It's not too bad at all. For $46,000, ARV in this neighborhood is about 220 to 240. This is a great deal. This is a smoking hot deal. I mean, I can't get any better than this, to be honest. You know, the fact that it was a year worth of work, you know, to get this far is, you know, it is what it is. This is what it takes to be a real estate investor now. I'm trying to get through here. Oh yeah, look, this is a little bit brighter in here. She left all kinds of crap behind. It stinks in here. But, you know, we told her she could leave all her junk behind. So we're gonna get, you know, somebody to come and trash this place out and, you know, try to get this thing ready for demo day. So we're gonna get a contractor out here to give us a price on everything. We're gonna get 3 quotes. I'm gonna document the whole thing as always. And basically we wanna make sure that we can get this thing rent ready. Now rents in this neighborhood is around $1,300 to $1,500, and that's where I wanna be at. I wanna be around $1,300 to $1,500, preferably $1,500. And that way, you know, a nice family can live here and pay me rent, which is great. So this is part of my retirement right here and part of my kids' retirement. You know, maybe even my grandkids' retirement. But this place, man, it is a piece of work for real. I'm trying not to fall here. But got the bathroom, got a water heater. Water heater is actually brand new. It's like, I think 2 years old. It's gonna need an HVAC. That's the shower. We're probably gonna knock all this down, to be honest, because the shower's in a terrible location. So the room I was just in, this is a laundry area right here. And then this is kind of like dining area. So it's kind of weird that you gotta go through the laundry area in order to get to the bathroom. And then there's a bedroom here with another bedroom behind it. What I'm probably gonna do is knock down that wall and maybe put like the bathroom here in the middle, and then try to evenly distribute this whole layout, because this layout sucks. But now from here, even though this video is mostly about just this house and how we got it, I'm actually leaving here to go look at a trailer that I want to buy in Salisbury, North Carolina for 30 grand. It's rented for 500 bucks. Talk about cash flow king right there. The fact that it's already rented out for 500 bucks and I'm only gonna pay 30 for it, let's take a look and see what this thing looks like. I wonder if it's tore up or does it look really good? So we're gonna find that together, because I have no clue what this property looks like. All right, so not a bad deal. Not a bad deal at all. So that house is rented for 500 bucks a month. It does have a septic system on a community well, has a brand new HVAC, brand new water heater, has a newer roof, has a metal roof, and newer windows. The tenants look like clean tenants. So I'd actually probably keep it rented out at 500 bucks a month. But I know that I could easily rent it out right now for $700 if they chose to move. So great cash flowing deal. 30 grand cash, I'll do it all day. I'll do it all day, because I know that that house is gonna produce a lot of money for me, and it's in pretty decent shape. I'll show you guys a couple pictures real quick so you guys can see exactly what's going on there. And as you can see from the pictures, it's pretty clean. You know, it's a little dated. The mobile home was built in 1990. The land value by itself is like 20 grand. So I could see myself keeping this for a very long time and, you know, keeping it rented out probably to the same people. Maybe, you know, up the rent just a little bit, but not by much, because it looks like they're good, clean tenants, and, you know, we could keep them in there for a while, especially at that price point. And the fact that there's no repairs needed is even better. It's even better. Well, that's it for today, guys. It's been a very long day. You guys got to see my other house that we're gonna flip. You got to see this one that we're probably gonna buy now, and that makes 2 in this area. So it's been one heck of a journey, guys. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you guys found some value in this video. If you did, shoot me some comments down below. Shoot me a like, shoot me a dislike. Hit me up on Instagram, and I'll catch you guys later on another vlog.